Hey guys, what's going on? Long time no see. Gosh, we've been going through a lot, haven't we? I mean, from the coronavirus to the protests to everything going on. I wanted to really take a pause and honor that space for myself, my mental health, self-love, all of the things so I don't go crazy. And I didn't want to interrupt anything we had going on. But this is my interview series, Kings Speak. So we've gotten a lot before. If you guys haven't followed Kings Speak on Instagram, please do. But this was a platform I created because I've done a lot of work when it comes to healing and women's circles and group therapy and all, us women, we get it together, right? But when it comes to the men, they were asking me like, well, when are you going to do something for us? So I wanted to put together a series that allowed men to speak from the heart, chat emotional intelligence, spirituality, vulnerability, and all of these things that, they may not have a platform to talk about. So this is that. So our next guest really needs no introduction, but I'll give you one anyway. He was born in Harlem, which is one of my favorite places. If you've never been there, the energy in the ground just beats different there, okay? Father to Amani and Elijah, husband to the beautiful and talented Shanice, and of course a superstar in his own right, from dancing, acting, comedian, countless TV and film credits. Let's give it up for our guest today, Flex Alexander. All right, I see him in the chat. Let me get up in here. Get him on. Waiting music. Do, 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 do. Yes.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm just enjoying my life. I'm out here in Texas right now. I'm not even on Cali time.
Oh, Texas. Yeah, I like it out there.
Yeah, so far so good. I might have to, get a little relocate going.
Hey, be careful on them winding roads though. Don't go on no back roads.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Noted. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me and taking time out of your busy life and schedule. You got a lot going on, but you've made
Yeah.
time to spend with me.
Of course, definitely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to kind of preface the audience about Kings Speak, and I'm sure you heard it, but I just wanted to create a space where men can chat. And I think there's a different dynamic when, I'm a woman asking questions, kind of from a perspective how we normally talk. We be
Hmm.
at the spa, we got sister circles,
Right.
yoga, the Lord, okay? We
Right.
go in. But I'm not sure if men are like at home sitting around all the time talking about vulnerability and
Yeah.
emotional intelligence and
Yeah.
spirituality. So I'm hoping to bring perspectives through this conversation that men and women can glean from the conversation, maybe
Yeah.
learn something and grow.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I mean, it's true. Like I think, a lot of men, we take on the provider role and just have those blinders on, and that is our mission, that is our goal, and we don't give ourselves time to hurt, we don't give ourselves time to cry, we don't give ourselves time to feel. And I think for a while I was in that mode, but I think I started to just open up more and let my emotions show. And that age old notion of a real man shouldn't cry or show his feelings, I think a real man showing his feelings is a real man. You know what I mean? Crying or whatever, telling another brother, hey, I love you, man. I tell all my friends now when I talk to them, I'm like, hey, man, I love you, brother. I just say it. I make it a point to say it. So it's important. I think, what you're doing is needed because we normally don't have a platform to go to.
Yeah, I agree. And it's time. It's time to evolve past that space. I think a lot of the age old things that we have been taught or been so committed to are changing. Like stuff we heard in 1950, how on earth do you expect that to be applicable in
Hmm.
2020? It's just, we've got to upgrade, we've got to move forward. And I feel like sometimes we're in a state of emergency when it comes to a lot of things, but I really feel like it is that way with our men. If our men
Yeah.
do not have space to release and speak and grow and be human,
Hmm.
we're all screwed, okay?
Yeah. 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 If we're expected to lead, who's going to be there to heal the leaders?
Exactly. So this gives us an opportunity to dive in. There's so much going on right now. And in speaking to that, you know, how are you feeling? How have you been affected? How are you doing in this time? We went from the coronavirus to the protests and everything. How are you feeling right now?
It is, you almost feel like it's a dream, like it's not even real. Um, Mentally, I'm in a better space. It's because I I'm purposeful in not taking on too much. And I mean, with the coronavirus, like I wouldn't watch the news. I would just say, okay, let's just be careful, let's be mindful. But I just couldn't sit and watch the news every day because mentally it will just drain you. It will take you to a dark place. And with the protests, with George Floyd, with everything, it's just been. This is something I mean I felt was going to happen at some point because we've just been in this bubble stage, this just kind of boiling a little bit, and now the tea kettle is steaming, and you have years of people being tired, man, of people being tired of being second class citizens, tired of rights being violated, tired of not being counted, tired of not being valued, on top of being in quarantine, on top of everything. It's frustration. It just builds. And I think, from the, lovely knucklehead Candace Owens saying that George Floyd's not a hero and bringing up his record. His record has nothing to do with being murdered in the street like a dog. And as a matter of fact, a dog will get more respect. Um, uh, uh, his record has nothing to do with anything. No one said, "Oh, he's a hero." It just was, that was the tipping point. It was like, okay, we saw it. It was plain. We saw the disdain in that officer's face, the lack of caring, just his body language, hands in the pocket, and I think that sent a message to everyone, and I think that's why we took to the streets, and it became a rally cry in every state and 18 countries, because the world now can see what we've been saying forever, that this is ridiculous. I mean, your own Constitution, uh, speaks of us as being, three-fifths of human. So when your Constitution isn't for you, and the 13th Amendment, and the Fifth and Fourth Amendment, all these are changed, or supposedly for us, and it hasn't helped us. Like it is just, I don't know. It's a lot to take. It's a lot to take as a people. So I think we just got to the point where we just had enough. I mean, in the Constitution, I mean, we're considered. It says civiliter mortis, which is Latin for legally dead. So that's how we described in the Constitution. So when we're pulled over by police officers, they know that law. So they're looking at us like, yeah, your life don't count. African American, Black, Negro don't even really apply to us, as a nationality or a race. Um, um, when you study your Black's Law Dictionary and you see the actual meanings, like it's scary, man. It's really scary. And I have a Black son, a Black daughter that I have to monitor and talk to, and I have to tell my son, hey, you can't go with your friends and get in their car and go play basketball. No, four of y'all in the car. That's no, that's a recipe for disaster, and I hate that I have to be that way, but I have to be. I have to be. My son is 6 feet now, dreads. They're gonna look at him, and I just can't have that.
Yeah, no, I agree. You brought up so many great points. I've been feeling the same kind of way. When you look at everything, the thoughts that I've been getting is, when the foundation is messed up, how do you
Mhm.
grow? Why are we allowing ourselves to pretend, well, up until now, that the foundation of what this country has been founded on, it was
Mhm.
screwed up from the jump. We've built
Mhm.
this whole thing on sand, and it's going to
Mhm.
keep crumbling and keep crumbling until we
Mhm.
get to the root of everything, including the Constitution, and
Yeah.
eradicate it. We're going to have to
Mhm.
burn this thing down to the ground with love, fierce
Mhm.
love. And when you do a burning as such, you leave fertile ground for new things to grow. And I
Mhm.
think until we get to that point where we hit the hard reset button, I don't know if we're really going to see the changes we need, because I think Don't get me wrong. I think it's nice to have, Black Lives Matter painted on the street. I think it's important. I think a lot of the stuff is important, and the symbolism and effort is beautiful. But
Mm-hmm.
until we start changing some of these papers and legislations
Mm-hmm.
and the core of what we stand on,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything to rest until we get there. Because
Yeah.
everything you just said about the Constitution being three-fifths of the human and all that, that's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous.
Yeah. And the other thing is, not only the presidential election, because the presidents are puppets, the presidents are there to fulfill an agenda, and the lawmakers, those are the elections that we need to stay on top of. In 2008, when Barack came in 2010, there was an election for the Senate, the House, Congress. Those are the people that determine the laws. And we were so high and so jacked up off of that election, we just missed that in 2010. So we have to pay attention to those elections and vote those people out, because those are the ones who are determining our future with laws. That's why the president, they can write something, but it has to go through Congress, it has to go through Senate and House majority and all that. So that should tell you they don't have the all right power to just do something or change something. It has to go through a process, and that process and those people who control that process, that's where we have to vote.
Yeah, politics for me makes my brain do this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, yeah. It's tough, man. It's a conversation I've always been told you never have with people. Politics and religion, never.
Yeah. And I kind of, I'm with you on that. I hope that I'm always able to create a space for people to share, because I
Yeah.
think the more we know about people, their opinions, the way they
Hmm.
think and how they maneuver, it becomes important for all of us.
Yeah.
And I may sound like a 4-year old when I say this, but I'm kind of just, I still don't understand why we have to go through so much process. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Love is
Hmm.
love, hate is hate. So it just kind of sucks that there's this convoluted process and all of these things, hoops to jump through
Yeah.
to do the right thing. It's just crazy to me, but I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
stay on it and do the best that I can and bring what I can, because
Yeah.
I would love to see this shift in my generation. It's changed. I have to admit my Black experience doesn't include being shot at just for
Right.
being Black or being, but I know my father experienced those things, and I know
Yeah.
his father experienced worse. So we're moving along, but we're far from finished, far
Far from it.
from
Far from
finished.
it. Hmm.
So it's kind of like all of the threats and the things just kind of shifted, and they look different, but they're still here. So
Yeah. Yep.
um, they say if you can solve a problem in your lifetime, it's not big enough. So hopefully
Hmm.
we can just continue to move the needle forward,
Yeah.
for your kids, for the kids I haven't had yet,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all of the above. Okay.
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah, the politics. Somebody put in the comments, it isn't a straight political issue. I agree. It's a lot. There's a lot of layers and levels to this thing. But that might be a whole entire another conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
There's a lot to it. Well, I wanted to ask you, while we're on the topic of current events, do you have any purpose-driven solutions on your mind that you want to contribute to this movement? Is there anything that's come to your heart where you're like, this is how I want to show up?
I think for me, what I'm trying to do is I want to create a space or just educate us, um, as I'm learning economically, and that is where a lot of the difference lies economically. And if we can, you know, control our dollar, and when we had um, Tulsa, Oklahoma, we had Black Wall Street, we had Rosewood, we had these thriving Black communities. A lot of people don't know that Central Park in New York was an African village called Seneca Village, and it was destroyed, taken, and run over just like everything else. Um, we once those things were taken away and burnt down, and it set such a disparaging gap, of wealth, and finances and economics between us, it set us back so long. We're still trying to catch up. We're so far behind in economics. It's sad. It's really, really sad. So, I'm taking the initiative, on my own, my family, and also trying to share it with my brothers, my friends, learning about, trusts and learning about how to build your wealth in through trust, create your LLCs, let the trust control them, infinite banking, your life insurance, whole life insurance, which you can live off of. You have actual cash value in there, so you don't have to borrow from a bank. You can borrow from there and pay it back slowly, quickly, and it doesn't affect the credit rating. And you can have those insurance policies within your trust, like things like that, that's gonna carry infinite wealth for our children's children. And that is my focal point, because I believe we can gain strength economically, and that'll put us in a different position. And we with Malcolm, not Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, he started speaking about that not too long before he was assassinated, about the dollar. And when he started talking about economics and Vietnam, and that's when he had to go. But what he was saying is ringing true now. Economically, we have to understand the power of our dollar. I support so many Black businesses online. I'll go on, I'll just buy t-shirts, I'll buy a product, whatever, because I want to, what do you call, support and give them strength and be able to continue and not have to shut down. I know I had a friend with, it's called Diamond Beard. Like beard care. Like he has great smelling oils and stuff like that for the beard and stuff for the skin and t-shirts and I've even started my website, to have t-shirts and stuff just with the emotions of what we're feeling. You know what I mean? And I just sat there and I was like, man, I'm tired and blah blah blah. I'm tired of this and so I created those t-shirts and I'm trying to share with other people and share their products. And 'cause I think that's important because that's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us going. We don't have to depend on the outside dollar. You look at the community and you got Asian stores and markets that are in the heart of our community, and we're keeping them going. What happened if we just said, yeah, we're going to stop. Let's take our money, pool it together, create our own Black hair care, store or whatever it is. So for me, it's the economics and teaching my children their history and the true history and not to say, okay, yeah, I'm right and all that's wrong, but to just so they know who they are, so they can walk in strength, so they can, if a school book tells them, oh yeah, y'all were slaves, and it's like, no, that was slavery wasn't our history. Our history was interrupted by slavery. We go back to ancient Kemet. We go back to being, pharaohs and goddesses and women who ruled and helped rule. Like Queen Hatshepsut, and you have so many different real people that lived and did that in those eras, and they should know all that. They should know all that. So that's what I'm trying to do as best I can. I use my platform to the best of my ability. Um, but that's where it is for me, but starting with economics is the first thing.
Yeah, you brought up so many great and valuable points, and I'm with you on that. First of all, when you remind and share how we are royalty, that resonates with my spirit far more than anything else.
Hmm.
Just that alone, it
Yeah.
resonates with my spirit. I believe
Hmm.
that. I know
Yeah.
it. I feel it. Even to this day. And I love that you talk about raising your children in power, because that's a lot of what I've been feeling lately. I'm seeing all these things. I wasn't afraid to share the other day that I want to preface this by saying I honor the protesting. I'm so grateful so many people showed up. but I also believe different people have different ministry when it comes to however we're going to move forward.
Hmm.
And I was just like, I'm not going to go out there and ask nobody for what's mine, because
Yeah.
I am royalty and we're
Yeah.
tired of that. This is not a conversation anymore. So
Yeah.
let me sit down and figure out how I can walk in power to the utmost so that I can contribute from a full, powerful, ready, strong cup. Because
Yeah.
even when it comes to leaders, it's like, yes, in this country, we're like, men are the provider, they provide and protect, da, da, da. But women, come on now, we cannot forget how much power and leadership that we come with. And I think we're seeing that,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to Black women entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
the skyrocket. There's so many things coming. So we're in there, but
You guys are mothers to civilization. You are the mothers to civilization. Everything started with you. So people want to argue the point or whatever. It's like, listen, we can't give birth to anybody. So, and we can't nourish anybody in our bodies for 9 months. So, you got, not to cut you off, but I just wanted to say that you guys, don't ever feel any kind of way other than what you are, because I think now, especially more Black women and it's okay to say that. It's okay to be like, yo, I'm a strong Black woman. You hear people say, well, how come you can't just say I'm a strong woman? No, it's important that we say strong Black women, because these little babies don't hear that. They don't see it. They don't hear enough of it. And it's okay to say that. Chelsea Handler just did a post, about All Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter. And you got to go check it out. It was so great the way she broke it down. But you need to check that out. It was so great. And it's important to have those conversations. So it's important that you know that, yes, everything started with you guys. So never feel any kind of way. You guys just have to, find that again, what you are now, and reclaim it, and just go out and keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you guys set trends. Like, if y'all wear long hair, somebody else wear long hair. If you wear short hair, they're wearing short hair. If you twerk, they twerking. So, you know what I mean? So y'all set the trends.
yeah, I love that. And it's so true and it's so powerful. And that's just the word that keeps coming to mind, our power, powerful,
Hmm.
and those things. And I love the way you spoke to economics, because also what I was hoping to see, someone else in the chat had mentioned something about reparations. And I
Hmm.
remember looking at this chart where, there have been reparations given out to all kinds of races when it comes to things. We're the only
Yeah.
one with a zero on our
Yeah.
check mark box. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
ever going to look to the government to really give me anything.
Yeah.
But what I would like to see is we're seeing $10 million to this, $1 million to them. People are giving out millions to these organizations. I would love to see where the money is being allocated. I would love to see how we can all get on the same page. Maybe that can be a jump starting boost to our reparations. Can we
Hmm.
bring in economic classes? Can we bring in therapists and mental healing and health for our men who have been traumatized, or women who have
Hmm.
been traumatized? Like, how are we going to use this money to get us out of this? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that you brought
Yeah.
up the economic part, because I
Yeah.
could sure stand to learn more in
Yeah.
that and move in that. And it's so everything. It's wildly important. And we didn't
Yeah.
get that as kids.
I think that I know I didn't learn it as a child, but I definitely think, the whole reparations conversation, people go back and forth, and it's always an issue when we bring it up, when we want it. And as you said, there's other groups that continue to get funded and reparations and all kind of stuff. I mean, there's even bills that, Obama signed to let other communities, gain. And um, I was listening to Joe Biden with Ed Gordon, and Ed Gordon was straight up talking about reparations, because Bob Johnson, former owner of BET, was like, "Yo," he broke it down. This is what it's going to cost. And we need to get this right now. And he posed a question to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden he was like, "So what do you think? Should we? It's time for us to have reparations." And Joe Biden says, "Well, are you going to include the Indians in that?" Like, it's like, listen, they get they right now. There's reservations there. There are casinos. The native nation is being taken care of. We have not been taken care of in the one one bit. And I'm not saying taking care of black women should sit there and be lazy, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. There needs to be reparations. We were brought here, unwillingly. We built this country. In the South, it was the the cotton and the you have the textile, and then you have the other industry, and we did both. And I just don't understand why the argument is, or where people get upset when we start to talk about it. Because if we become financially independent, I think, it puts fear in a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yep, I absolutely agree. And it's crazy how us walking in our full potential
What
literally.
somebody said, Jaquia, yeah, natives. You can say natives, but Jaquai, I don't know if you know that Africans were here prior to the Native Indians. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if even before the Trail of Tears, we were here. We were in every part of this world before any other nationality. If you go back, the further you go back, the blacker it gets. So
Yeah.
I can say native in natives, or indigenous people, or whatever the terminology you want. But at the end of the day, we were here first.
Yes. So, and it's, we respect everybody here as long as we get the point across. I think we all know, what we're talking about for the most part. But thank you, both of you for sharing both
Hmm.
perspectives and
It's all
educating,
love.
yeah,
Hmm.
educating everyone on that. No, I just love it. And it's just crazy how that's why I can't stop thinking about power, because I'm like, if we just walk in the fullness of who we are, it's enough to harmoniously usher out all the, because you can't step to this. You can't mess with somebody who is full, whole, real, grounded, rooted, economically sound, mentally stable. Like there's so many things that I think um, we would benefit from long term. And I think we're headed that way. I love
Hmm.
the uproar. I obviously don't, looting. There's all these other things going on that don't
Yeah,
really serve the cause. But I guess because it's happening, it's just the uproar of everything that I
yeah,
find value in, because there's chaos before change doesn't happen in comfort and
yeah.
calm. It just doesn't.
Did you see the sister break down? I saw the sister on Instagram. She broke down, everybody was talking about the looting. She broke it down. She was like, listen, Rosewood was looted, burnt down. Tulsa looted, burnt down. Seneca Village burnt down. I mean, looted. She was like, yeah, we don't own none of this. We don't own this land. We don't own these buildings. She was like, let it burn. Now, I'm not saying go out there and burn it.
Right.
Her point being was that there's so much emphasis on that oh, it was out here looting, and we're not doing that. We're not burning buildings. They're catching video of people who were burning the buildings, and the agents. Kimberly Jones is her name. Agents who are going in and doing these things. So, I'm like, listen, man, I wasn't there in Tulsa, I wasn't there in Rosewood, I wasn't there in Seneca Village, but my ancestors were, and I just, we're still feeling the vibrations from that, still
Yes.
to this day.
Absolutely. Stephen, he put MLK believed in reparations. That's why he's gone. He's dead. You have to read the
We just
last
said
book.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where it was, yeah,
yeah,
thank you for, I hope everybody's reading in the chat and taking notes and going to reference some of this stuff so that we can continue to educate ourselves. Because I think when we receive education and it goes, through us, I think that's when we find ways that we can show up, help, give, walk in purpose, walk in
yeah,
power.
yeah,
So let's take
yeah,
in this information
yeah.
and
And it's
talk
not
about it.
about, it's not about, you know I see so much, especially in the conscious community, they, so much trying to out conscious each other, and I know more than you, and it's not about that. It's, let's put our knowledge together, and how does it best serve us? You know what I mean? How can we do this together? How can this group of black folks get together with this group and create something that will span generations, just like the Jewish communities, the Asian communities, the Hindu communities, they get together and they put everything aside. No one's trying to be, well, I got to be the man. Well, man, I'm the CEO. No, you the CFO. Like, and I think that infighting is another part that has, we've been, you know, self-deprecating this to our own demise when we do that. We just have to. We have so many leaders who get out and have a different agenda and want to be seen and but these same leaders I've seen for a few decades and you know have helped change nothing at all. And I think we the people, we have to just say, man, enough is freaking enough. Let's get together. And this everything that's going around the world is a small glimpse of what could happen if the 99 get together.
Amen. I agree. And because one of my favorite things is purpose, I feel like when you're walking in purpose and you believe in the creator, I know I believe in God, so I'll use that. God is the creator and we're made in his image. And so we're all creators. So the stuff that he put in us, when we allow ourselves to show up, what we have to bring is so individual and distinct to who we are. There's no need to fight over positions. There's no need to fight over who's on top, who's that. I bring the bread, you bring the meat, you bring the veggies. We got dinner, honey. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's
need
how we did it. That's how we did it in the hood. Like,
to.
I grew up in the projects, in the Bronx, and that's how I was. If my mom had spaghetti, somebody else had Kool-Aid, somebody else had garlic bread or whatever. We put it together, man. We got together. Nobody said, well, hey, I paid more money for the spaghetti, so I should have more, at all. We just got together, and that's in our nature. We know how to get together. We know how to put it together. But when you go back and the fear has been put in us from bucking, when women were made to stand there and watch black men be beaten, just down to nothing, to put fear in them that, don't ever try to escape, don't ever try to, raise up on us, like that stuff reverberates over generations, even the separation of class, light skin, dark skin, all that stuff, the whole, for lack of a better term, crabs in the barrel, which that's not their natural habitat, but that whole mindset of I'm gonna get mine before you get yours, or that stuff was implemented in us brilliantly by them and slave owners. And there's a book you gotta by John Colcock Jones called How to Raise a Negro Christian, and you have to read that book.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that attacking Christianity, but there his breaking down of how he taught other slave owners and landowners how to buck and how to control. It is it's mind blowing.
Mm.
It's mind blowing that this was a science behind this, and they shared information with each other, and we can't even share good information with each other. You know what I mean? So, like we gotta, we have to study, man. We gotta go back. We gotta read, man. We gotta understand, like just. What was the saying? If you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book, because we don't read. We watch YouTube and say, okay, I know now. You got to research the research, and you got to know where you came from to know where you're going. And there were so many books and on how to do it, on how to control us, on just every level, man. It just, whew, that book right there is powerful.
Gosh, that is so, I cannot wait to dive into even more of this stuff. And I'm so glad you're sharing, all the knowledge that you have so we can all take notes and check some of this stuff out. Yes,
Hmm.
denial about what's happening, been in that for a while. There was a
Hmm.
lot of really great comments here. Before I switch topics here, there's a question.
Hmm.
Um, oh, oh, okay. I think it was more a comment. Yes, that's really good. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So you spoke so well to everything happening. I do see the light at the end of the tunnel. I hope everyone else does here too. It looks chaotic. It looks ugly. It hasn't felt good ever, probably. But here's an opportunity, and I want to see. We ain't fumbling the bag this time. I want to see
Yeah, we
us
can't.
win. We can't.
We
So
can't. we can't if it comes to a point where we end up getting reparations and everybody get a check, we can't go out and ball out and buy Benzes and Jordans, and we can't do that. We got to get our money together, pool it together. We need to get land so we can cultivate land, so we can eat off of the land. We need to get just even if it's not here, get land somewhere else. Get land in Ghana. They're offering land. They're offering a welcoming home to Ghana, which I did my genealogy of African ancestry, and my people were linked to the Akan tribe in Ghana. I got to meet the ambassador to Ghana, go to the embassy in DC. It was amazing. Found out that I have DNA linked to Pharaoh Ramses III, and I was blown away because they'll try to make you think that that whole, ancient Kemet, and what we went through and what we created was mythos, but it wasn't. I have actually, it's called the EV328 gene or something like that, that links all the way back over 300,000 years.
Wow.
300,000 years. So I understand now why I'm the way I
I was gonna say, well, I mean, it makes sense. It
am.
makes sense how you show up in the world, how you show up in knowledge, how you show up as a father, a husband, a friend, an entertainer. Like, I believe it. So
Mhm.
that's amazing. So I hope everyone following, they're probably all already following you. But I'm excited to see everything that continues to come out of your life, your mind, your heart, your experiences, because we need
I'm
it.
sorry. So what is the name of the book again? Oh, it's called uh, How to Make a Negro Christian. That's the name of the book. How to Make a Negro Christian. Sorry.
No, no, no. Don't apologize. This is a
Yeah.
conversation. We need that.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you
just I
for
just want to tell
repeating
them.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. No, I love it. So much value. I want,
Yeah.
before we get out of here, I definitely wanted to tap into um, the family aspect of things and all the beauty you've brought to your life through your marriage, your kids, your life in that way.
Hmm.
And with this being something where I want men to find value, to not be intimidated to ask questions, to
Hmm.
through your words, maybe have something that is on their mind be touched on so that they know how to, follow somebody who's done the things that they might be thinking about, but might be intimidated to do. I know for men, I always think about it, especially when I watch my dad, like, y'all got a tough role. We really put it on you. We put it out here like, y'all need to know how to do this. You need to be ready. You need to understand. You need to fix this. You need to make the money. We need it all. And
Yeah.
it's a lot. It wasn't until I got older where I was like, okay, but they're like human.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah, you gotta find it's a balance, man. And I'm still learning. I just turned 50 in April, and and I feel like I'm coming into more of whatever my growth, because we never stop learning. We never stop. Who is Coach Soul? Yes, women are pressured too. We're not, she's not saying that you aren't at all. We're just talking about being able to speak specifically to men. It's not a comparison, especially these days, but the historic stamp, I guess, that's put on men, in that sense, that we're the providers, the hunters, the gatherers, all that stuff. And of course, we know that there are great women that go out and do it. So we're not taking that away. I just wanted to answer Coach Soul. Um,
yes, of course.
but yeah, I'm speaking from the because as you grow up, I was raised by two strong women, and my father wasn't in my life. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother, and I learned everything from them. I learned, just I think that's why I am sensitive. I think that's why I do show emotion, because they've shown me that, and it's okay to do that. I've shown, I've shown they've shown me, just how to be resourceful, and it's so many things, um, that I've learned, but there were things that I needed from my father that my mother couldn't give me, that my grandmother couldn't give me. There were things I needed. And I think now you know, when I got older and I'm working and stuff like that, I just put it on my shoulder that I have to take care of my family. And my wife, she has her career, she could make all kind of money, but I'm still going to take that mindset that it's my responsibility to take care of my wife, my kids, set the tone, you know, that not that I'm, you know, ahead of her, but we're, you know, let me go out, let me check everything out. Okay, boom, and then let's do it together. Um, that's just how it's been, and there is a pressure. When I leave this door, I just want to make it home. You know, that's the pressure that I have. And not saying that that hasn't happened to Black women, but the ratio of, you know, men leaving the home and hoping they could get back to their family, um, man, I think about it every day now. And I didn't think about it before. I think about, okay, let me make sure my license is up to date, my insurance, this, that. I'm thinking all of these things when I leave the house that
Woo.
I never thought of before, because the agenda has always been, even from slavery, you remove the Black man, you remove the man, and it crumbles. You have the single mother, and you have children, which yes, a woman can still do that, but you know, then the structure is broken. The original structure that was intended by the Creator is broken. You know, and that's the true Trinity: is the mother, the father, and the children. You know, that's the Trinity. Hold up,
Yeah.
somebody said. Somebody says, what does it mean to be vulnerable human beings in which we all share the same types of emotions and feelings and flaws? We are all vulnerable. We are. I think what we are talking about is how it's frowned upon for men to be vulnerable and show emotion. We don't normally show emotion. We are told from when we're little. I used to have my uncles, man, don't be no punk, don't be crying, all that. I've always been told that, but I've just been different. I show my emotions. I cry out. This is a commercial I see that's really touching. I'll cry. You know, an interview with what do you call it, Chris Spencer and his wife, and I just started crying because it was something he did for me, and I just shared it, and I just started crying. That's my real emotion. So I wasn't trying to be like, let me be macho, and you know what I mean. It's so that's the conversation I'm answering, close
Yeah.
soul. You know
No,
what I
I
mean,
love
and that.
that.
So
And
yeah,
women, we need you to be that way, because if you cut off from the world, you cut off from us. And if we don't have you, how do we make a we out of things?
and there's some good. Hold up, somebody
I know
says
there's some good stuff in there.
the omnibus guy says we are still asking for basic human rights from a people that claim to be Christian and righteous. Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, omnibus guy, um, I won't debate on anyone's walk spiritually. That's an individual thing. You have Christians, you have Muslims, you have Hindu, you have Jews, you have all kinds. The human rights you're talking about, you are correct. We are fighting for basic human rights. Hold up, who is this? Claren, best stop moving your head. Man,
Oh,
be quiet. I'm trying
I do that all
to.
the time. I'm listening. I'm like, yes, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm over
So,
it. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, back to omnibus. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. We're fighting for basic human rights, which is one of the things that changed in Malcolm X's view. When as long as he was fighting for civil rights, it was okay. But as soon as it became human rights, now it's more encompassing of the globe and everybody, and that was dangerous. But I think we're at a point now where they hear us. I think they hear us. I think they hear us. So we're going to get there. And I'm hoping I get to see it, you know, in my old age. I hope I get to see it. And my kids' generation, they're part of the pioneers of that, because this generation is just, they're not having it. You know, they're not having it.
Yeah. And I love that. That's what we need. Some of this stuff is also sparked on Twitter. I see a lot of Asian Americans speaking out like, I was raised anti-Black. The
Hmm.
beautiful part about them is I doubt they'll raise their kids that way. Great.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Yeah.
clean it up.
Yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
is generations of trauma and damage. I don't expect it to be, done before 2020 ends, but We asked for this 2020 clarity and vision, and here it is. The year is everything we asked for. That's for sure.
Everything, and it's tearing down old walls. It's rebirth. That's what this year is, rebirth. It is, I believe that we're going to come out of this in this next year or two, and old walls are going to be torn down. A lot of old ways are going to be torn down, and it's gonna change. I'm I'm erring on the side of what's right, and that we will get there. And this fight, someone asked how a coach asked how proud I am of this generation. I'm super proud of this generation because they don't care. It's they taking it to the streets, they taking it to the system, and I'm just proud to see it and proud to be a part of it in any small way that I can. So yeah, I know we could go on forever and ever, but
I love
uh,
it.
yeah, I just I love this, and I talk about it with the family all the time. I love it, and I really, really, even for everybody watching now, I just want everybody to just really focus your energy on, just creating goodness, economics. Again, just really diving into understanding economics. Whatever it is you do, if it's real estate or whatever you do, anything that you can create your own circle of economy that you can then start to, share and build. And there are susus out there. Susus are, unfortunately, that we've had scams, but there are susus where communities get together and share money, and it grows and it continues to grow. And so many other cultures have taken that from the Yoruba tradition, and they've built wealth on it. The Asian community, I mean, they've built wealth on it. There's so many different ways that we can. So I'm just hoping you guys, take that and focus now on economics, and really building your future. Learn about trusts. Get life insurance. Black people don't like to get life insurance. They think
A
it's a
scam.
bad omen. We
Yeah.
need to get life insurance, get whole life insurance, so that can become infinite banking, so that you can live off of that when it accrues interest, and you can borrow off of it, and you don't have to be, your credit doesn't have to be messed up. You got to learn and understand how the other side does it. Get insurance for your children now, so that when they're older, they're sitting on $300,000, $400,000. There's nothing spooky about getting that stuff. Get that, get your living trust, get your medical directive of things you want taken care of in case you're incapacitated, whatever. These are not scary things. These are things we need to do, because these are the things that they do, and this is how they pass wealth on. This is how we always got to do a GoFundMe. We always got to, what I mean, ask for something. Work on your credit, get your credit right, because cash is not king. Credit is the power. If cash stops, what's your credit look like? Work on those things, guys. Build it in your family. Teach your kids. That's what I'm doing now with my kids, working on their credit now. And because I think that's the next step to economic freedom and economic power.
I love that. And I wanted to ask you, because there's been some comments about spirituality, Christianity, and things like that. I
Uh-huh.
I wanted to ask you a two-part question of knowing what you know about spirituality, what do you think about the state of men's minds when it comes to being rooted in spirituality? And how
Hmm.
important do you think it is to have an anchor,
Hmm.
especially right now in these times?
I think that I think it's important to be able to go within, and whatever it is that works for you. I'm never going to be one to tell somebody one thing is better than the other. I've been all over the gamut, studied all kind of things, and just know that there is a greater, immense source, but you also are a part of that source, and we're supposed to tap into that source, because we are that source. If that makes sense. If you stand in the ocean, if you're at the beach and you take a glass and you scoop out some water, that water is still part of the greater body of the ocean. So for whatever it is for you, find that and lean on it. If it's meditation, if it's prayer, whatever it is, I think this is a time to be more centered so you can hear and not so much ask and want and hear, listen, because you need to hear for guidance so that you can move. And I think sometimes we get caught up in, and I want, and you can't hear if you talk. And if two people are trying to talk over each other, the conversation goes nowhere. So I just think you just man, you just have to really go within and center yourself. And I think that is key. And whatever it is, you center yourself. Take time daily, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, to just have alone time, quiet time. Turn off the TV, your phone. Just have that time, be centered so that you can hear, receive, and then you can move.
Yeah, it's really, and I love that Fab Kara put, what a great example, the ocean, and we are a part of something bigger. And I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
bring up spirituality following behind your conversation about wealth,
Mm-hmm.
because it takes a mindset to believe that your children can turn 18 or be an adult and be sitting on over $250,000. It takes
Mm-hmm.
a mindset, like I said, not to go out there and ask, but to walk in your power. It just, when we are spiritually sound, with, like I said, I choose God, but I also meditate. I love what
Mm-hmm.
Buddhism has to offer. I love nature because I learned from that. So there's all these things. It doesn't have to be your grandmama's church anymore. A relationship with God comes in many
Mm-hmm.
forms. So I want to invite people to explore that, because I think that our mindset and our spirituality, coupled with the tools that we have here and everything going on, is going to be the recipe that makes for real and lasting change, because we'll be able to handle it. We'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to say, oh, I'll invest that
Mm-hmm.
$2,000, or I'll go ahead and open this up, and I'll go ahead to be able to hear and to see
Mm-hmm.
and listen to our intuition or the way God speaks to us. I think it's just,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of goes hand in hand, and getting that money and getting our economics together. So we're not all
Mm-hmm.
over the place, and we don't feel like we're being suckered into something, or
Mm-hmm.
somebody's just telling us to do something because it's gonna benefit them. I think there's a lot of fear when it comes to that, like somebody trying to get over
Mm-hmm.
on me or this or that. If you can hear yourself speak, you'll know when you make your decision that this is the right thing for you, and how to pivot if you need to
Mm-hmm.
change that. So I want to see, when some of this blows over, I would love to see us change our language just a little bit more, um,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to this stuff, and just speak more life and power into ourselves as a whole.
And I think what you're saying, when you listen to the acronym God, God, it is, it's generator, operator, and destroyer, and which is within us. We can generate great things, we can operate them, or we can destroy them. We can destroy them with our mindset, we can destroy them with negativity, we can operate things in greatness, we can operate them, badly. We can generate things that are good. We can generate things that are bad. So it all ties in to us and within us. And I think the big issue is people, uh, whoever whatever they look towards, they put it away from them when it's not. It's right here. It's right within you. And you can look in ancient scriptures and esoteric knowledge, and even in the Bible, and it tells you plain out, know ye not that ye are gods. And people get afraid to say that word. I ain't know, I can't put the stars in the sky. That's not, you taking it way out of context. It just means that you have the power to go within. You have the power to make things happen. Your mindset, your heaven and your hell rest within, and I'm always thinking heavenly thoughts. Doesn't mean I'm thinking of somewhere that's way away. We're in a globe sitting in the heavens. So how can there be anything higher? I'm thinking of my mindset is heavenly. My mindset is wealth. My mindset is great health. My mindset is love. If my mindset is depression, well, not depression because that happens to people. If my mindset is ego, or jealousy, or whatever. That's my hell. That's my lower self, and I'm not going to be in my lower self. I'm going to always try to stay in my higher self. Life happens, and we go through emotions. I've been depressed. I've had times where I'm like, I need to talk to somebody. We all have that, but just generate, operate, and destroy that's all within us. And, from what you're doing, Jamie, to, creating this, you generate this, you operating it, now end it or keep it going, destroy it, whatever. So you created that, and everyone out there is a creator, and everyone out there has that same ability. So whether if I see what someone saying they may pray 5 times a day. I've been there. Alhamdulillah, I've been there as well. I've chanted Buddhism. I've done it all because I wanted to find things in everything. And there's goodness in all of those things. I'm never going to be of that mindset like I was before, that I'm just like, this is it. I just cannot do that. It's not fair to people, and it's not fair to the creator.
Yeah, no, I agree. The creator is expansive, it's infinite, it's omnipresent. So who are we to make it small? And that's what I hope, again, people understand about Christianity and things. Relationship with God, relationship with self, believing in the God within you and your own power.
Yeah.
We don't have to look outside of ourselves. We don't. I used to go to church all the time, y'all. I don't go to church all the time. Like, it's not found in the church. It's found within me. And I just think, that has everything to do with how we're going to move forward, how we're going to continue to have long-lasting Black families and strong kids, love, togetherness, like the whole nine. We need it all, and we need to hold fast to it. Because we can do it. We have the power to do it.
Yes.
Nobody out there is going to tell me, oh, I don't want to discount what we've been through. That's not the point. But if you think I'm going to keep that little hidden mentality, so I don't think that that's even what my ancestors were asking me to do. So, turn cam up a little. I don't know what I did. I'm like, it's falling. It's going, But yes, Kara said, we are the church. Church is not a building, but the people. So we have a real opportunity here. I love this conversation. I know it's going to cut us off in like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But before we get out of here, since you've spoken so eloquently to everything going on now, I know you're friends with Dondre Whitfield, who is an amazing man. I love the way he speaks. He wrote a book called Male versus Man. So if you guys haven't checked out that book, I had the opportunity to do that. And it's just riddled with powerful verbiage, deep understanding, where whether you're a guy or a girl, you will find so much value in how he speaks to manhood and all of these things. So Male versus Man, check that out. I know Dondre has something that he's doing on Father's Day. Like you said, you didn't grow up with a father. My dad didn't grow up with a father. You guys are two people who did not use that as an excuse not to be a father. And fathers are important. So tell me about, before we get out of here, what's going on Father's Day.
Hey, Toy, my sister Toy is on here. We're going to City Hall, man. We're calling on all fathers. He reached out to me, and all the other brothers that he knows that are fathers. And I mean, Dondre and I have known each other since we were teenagers. So, he's been man, I could cry now, just the kind of friend and brother he's been. So we're getting together. We're getting these fathers, these Black men together, and we rolling up to City Hall, and we ask for change for different things, and just showing the unity, and just showing that Black fathers matter, and we can get together, and we're here to lead that next generation, man, and I think it's a great thing that he's doing. And I had stuff going on that day, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna have to change it so I can be there, because I don't want to miss it. So it's gonna be powerful, and I just can't wait until we get there. I'm gonna, definitely record it and share it and stuff. And some of the stuff I don't even know what he's gonna do. He won't even tell me. So so it's kind of going there a little blindly. But I'm looking forward to it. I just know that all the fathers are meeting up, and we're going to
I don't know what's going on with my camera.
Someone said, "Fix your camera, girl."
I know. I'm like, I don't even know. It looks right here, but maybe not there. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to it.
I love it. Well, with a minute remaining, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for spending your time. I think people want like 2 more hours of conversation.
I know
People
this
are
is
like,
good.
talk about this, talk about that.
I know. But do me a favor, please check out my site. It's www.goodvibes. It's GUDVIBEZZ, goodvibes.com. And we got some great merch on there. You guys go check it out, support, and we're just trying to, create this economic strength that we need to continue. So thank you for having me, and I appreciate you so much. And thank you everybody out there. I see a lot of my people from lockdown.